Hello everyone, my name is Angel Olivas Gonzalez, and the foldable that I will be covering today is a compare and contrast foldable. Now, the article that I'm going to be using today, there's not much to compare and contrast, as more of there's two main topics to cover, which in this case are dynamics and articulations. And I feel like this type of foldable is a great way for students to capture the information and to keep it as a reference for themselves. Now, if we take a look at the article we'll be using, it goes over dynamics and articulations, like I said before. Now, I could have easily gone for a vocabulary foldable, but the problem is this article gives it very straightforward. It gives me a chart right here, and I feel like that couldn't help students that much. And whereas this foldable right here will actually have them read through the article and fill out the information as they go. Now, to make this foldable, it's relatively simple. All you do is you take a sheet of paper and hold it horizontally or lengthwise, and you fold it in half, likewise, or like we will call it a hamburger fold. So we fold it in half, and now we have one half. What we do after that is we take the two halves and we fold them in towards the middle. So let me do that real quick. And now we have our foldable. And here we have two flaps that work as our titles. And when we open it, each half of the inside works to fill up the information for that certain title. So in here, we see that the first topic that we're going to be covering is dynamic symbols. So we will take a marker, doesn't matter the color, and we will write in dynamics right here. And our second topic that we'll be covering is articulations. So we take a different color marker, and on the other title flap, we're going to write articulations. There you go. So let's start with the first topic. So in here, we're going to be talking about dynamic symbols. Now, right off the bat, the first sentence that gives the definition of dynamics. How loud or quietly music should we play? And if we take a look at the foldable I have filled up under dynamics, if I open it, the first thing I have is that definition. It tells us how loud or soft to play. Now, another important detail to put here is that we still use Italian terms and symbols, and that's something that the students should know because when you're referring to musical symbols, all of them, mostly all of them, are going to be Italian. So that's another important point to add to our foldable. Names are in Italian. Now, in here, this chart tells us from the softest to the loudest of the dynamics. Now, we could easily copy this chart right here, but I feel like it will take too much space. So what I rather do is a simple line graph right here. And we don't have to put all of the symbols. I just put from piano, mezzo forte, and forte, and I drew a line graph under them with this side being soft and this side being loud. After that, in the article, it talks about gradual changes in dynamics, which we call crescendos and diminuendos. So in here, that's my next point that we'll be writing down. Crescendos, crescendi, and diminuendos tell us how to change volume. And under them, I have drawn a crescendo and a decrescendo or diminuendo. And on the bottom, On the crescendo, I have written that it tells us to get louder, while the diminuendo tells us to get softer. Moving on from that, we see that we're in the next step, articulations. So we will then take the next title flap and we will open that and start to fill it up. Likewise, in here, articulations tell us how to play our notes. And like it says here, they indicate the manner in which a note is to be performed. So I simplified that definition and I simply wrote that it tells us how to play notes. Now, in here, it goes on to give us the various definitions and, or I should say, terms and their definitions. Like, first, we have staccato, we have tenuto, we have accent, and we have fermata. Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, we have a chart here that tells us the name, symbol, and the meaning of them. And I felt like this was actually a great addition to our foldable. So what I did, I translated that to my foldable, and I have made my chart right here. So instead of having to, excuse me, write down the entire definition of each word, I have made a chart here, a table, I should say, with how each symbol looks, its name, and what it indicates us to do while playing music. This is a very easy foldable to do because it only takes one sheet of paper and it's just a matter of folding it. Now, like I said, this is normally a compare and contrast foldable. It's mainly used to compare one idea to the other. But since in this case, this is two different aspects of music, I feel like this is a great way for students to have a reference on how to use both of these sides of music. Thank you.